Ladies and gentlemen, the game journos are at it again. I have an article here from PCGamer.com. It's up on archive because PCGamer sucks. This is a real headline for a real article. Watch a latex-clad billionaire punch out poor people in the debut gameplay trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow. How in the hell this even got past anybody to allow to be, printed, so to speak, on a website is beyond me. This is ridiculous. PC Gamer has no credibility for putting this kind of shit out. Anyway, we got our first proper look at the upcoming VR game at tonight's opening night live showcase at Gamescom. Gamescom was the other week and stuff, so this is one of the many games that was shown. But and if you're a fan of VR, you don't need me to tell you about this game. But for those who don't, or you probably imagine, it's a continuation of the Arkham series of the Batman games, where you're playing Batman in first person. I mean, it graphically looks really cool. I mean, obviously you could tell that from looking at it. It says Batman Arkham Shadow will push MetaQuest 3 to its limits, giving players an up-close look at Gotham City and delivering an Arkham experience that will resonate with longtime fans, Meta said in the press blurb. We're very excited about this one and can't wait to get our hands on it, or get it in your hands come October. Of course, most longtime fans of the Arkham games won't get much out of this one, regardless of how good it ultimately proves to be. Being a VR game and MetaQuest 3 exclusive at that puts it beyond the reach of most gamers. For those packing Meta's latest and greatest VR rig, Batman Arkham Shadows looks like it might be pretty solid, but after nearly 10 years since the last proper Arkham game, that being Arkham Knight in 2015, no, I'm not counting Suicide Squad here, you can understand why Arkham fans as a whole might be a little disappointed. Release date for Batman Arkham Shadows hasn't been set at this point, but it's slated to arrive sometime in October. So in other words, probably about a month and a half or so away. But and as you can tell, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. But it is absolutely absurd that this headline is on this article, because the headline makes it think that it's some type of like SJW bullshit spiel about capitalism is so terrible and blah 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 and everything. But the actual article itself is it's okay. I mean, it's fine. You know, I mean, it does mention, the new trailer focuses on exploration, dialogue, and of course, plenty of fisticuffs as the world's greatest detective wants to live in hell out of dozens of flunkies and underlings on his way to ensure that nothing ever really gets better in the bleak, crumbling metropolis of Gotham City. A little snarky. You could say a lot snarky, but not nearly as bad as this goddamn headline would have you believe. Anyway, we've got another topic here. There's a game coming out called Soulash, I mean, and the creator, the developer, he had to withstand a cancellation attempt from these people. Basically, it's and just so we can talk about Soulash real quick. I'll bring the Steam page up real quick when it loads up. Soulash is a traditional turn-based roguelike where your goal is to consume the souls of the living, conquer the vast fantasy world, and decide its fate. It may or may not be the type of game that everybody would love. I mean, me personally, I think the game looks pretty cool and stuff. I mean, it's not for everybody, I guess. I mean, it's like basically a small scale indie game, but it has a larger scale in terms of the gameplay and stuff. Seems really cool and stuff. Go through a couple more of the screens and stuff. Like I said, it seems pretty cool. But anyway, somebody had asked, hey Artur, because his name's Artur Smiarowski. Sorry if I probably butchered your name. Sorry about that. Hey Artur, thank you for your hard work. I'm a queer fan of your game, and I wanted to ask if same-sex relationships would be possible in future updates. I know other devs like the ones who made Medieval Dynasty said they considered it too late to be put into the game. I just wanted to see if it was something on your radar or if it would be safe for you to implement in the future. Thank you for your time and dedication to this game and its community. Artur responds, the main purpose of the family system is to create a legacy through children. And given our limited ways to interact with NPCs, I don't think there's a good way to represent relationships, so I don't plan to expand that right now. More extended interactions were something that some players wished was a bigger focus of the game, but unfortunately, it would take a long time and probably the removal of the conversations and dialogue systems to turn Soulash 2 into The Sims, as well as the other games I'm already trying to mix. We're going to have to see if I ever get excited about it, but right now I'm too pumped to go to war to delay it any further. Seems like a pretty, nice give and take, nice respectful question, nice respectful answer. But some idiots out there basically were trying to cancel Archer because they spent about a week doing it because of, oh, how dare you not include alphabet people and all this kind of stuff. How dare you not include same-sex relationships and blah 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 and everything, as if that's somehow going to make the game better or more inclusive or whatever. Get out of here. Anyway, he says, he had tweeted out, "This is my response a week ago. After that response, a week-long Activision campaign engulfed all our community channels. So I showed my teeth. The oppressive people left, and now we can continue to have fun in peace." And he had also mentioned, just woke up, the lightning didn't hit me. I don't feel canceled at all. After all, it looks like there was nothing to fear from the oppressive mob. Thank you to everyone who went past a single tweet and offered their support and understanding. And that's the thing. This is how you handle the mob when they come for you. Because these people who were complaining and trying to get this guy canceled, they're not jack shit. They weren't going to do anything. They weren't going to buy the game no matter what, even if he changed it and put in all that same sex stuff. Which would have basically meant having to rework vast parts of the game. Wouldn't have been worth it, in my opinion. But that's me. And obviously in Arthur's opinion, probably most people's opinion, it wouldn't have been worth it. Maybe down the road or whatever, if he decides, because when you build a game, you're building the foundation, and then you build on that foundation. They're wanting him to change something in the foundation. How many times do you go to, I'll see a house, and you're like, well, hey, that's great, but I need something added to the foundation. It would require a tremendous amount of work. You're better off just going to find a different house with a foundation that you do like. But this is the way you respond to the mob, in my opinion. I mean, you can sit here and tell them to fuck off if you really want, or you could just ignore them. I think either of those are valid ways of handling it. Maybe it's better to attack them. I'm not sure, or just show that you won't be attacked, show that you won't be pushed around. Tell them it's not going to happen. Yada yada yada, all that stuff. This is the reasons why. If you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, I whatever. I'm not sure if you want to antagonize the mob or whatever. Although if you do, I mean, as long as you don't actually like do anything, terrible or whatever, I don't got no problem with it myself. But anyway, but I just, not a fan at all of people bending the knee to the mob, because it's not going to help. It's not going to do anything. All it is they'll move on. They'll be satisfied for a second. They'll move on to something else to get outraged about. They're not going to buy your game. They're not going to buy your book, your movie, your TV show, whatever. They're not going to watch it. They're not going to give a shit about it. They're just going to move on to the next thing to get outraged about, because that's how these people are. That's how these mobs operate. And of course, you guys know this, as well as, if not better than I do. I mean, you don't need me to tell you this. It's common sense stuff. But apparently, some people out there, they fear getting canceled or whatever. They can't cancel you unless you let them cancel you. Basically, I mean, if you sit there and oh no, they're canceling me, I've got to bend the knee and stuff. What good's that going to do? Because you've lost your integrity. Because he's got a very valid reason for saying no same-sex relationships. Even if he sat there and said, I don't want to put it in there because I don't agree with it, that's fine. Because nobody's forcing you to buy this game. And he's not sitting there actively trying to destroy same-sex relationships. He's not including it in the game. You want to try to cancel him for it? That's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll link all this stuff in the description box, including a link to his game and stuff, or game series, to be more accurate, I should say. I should put that in there. There's like an entire series bundle and everything, and so on and so forth. All kinds of, cool stuff. Check it out. I mean, it may not be the game for you or whatever. That's, I mean, I get it. Totally get it and everything. But anyway, thank you very much for watching.